I've been here a number of times, and it gets very interesting all the time. But I must say that this has been a very progressive engagement. The discourse really has generated a number of ideas. And when I was having a discussion with Honorable a little while ago, we agreed that we don't leave it here. I think we are now going to get an opportunity to go and meet the parliamentary committees and ensure that this is deepened in terms of policy, so that after that Parliament can write a report and present to the plenary for a resolution and a directive. So that is one thing that we've been able to achieve here in our discourse, and I think she will come and reinforce that position. The other point is that 45 days have been given to the Minister of Trade and Industry by Cabinet to bring on board the counterfeit law, the bill, so that Parliament can deliberate on that and pass. But we now need to initiate a lobby to ensure that all these ideas are galvanized into a framework that can be enforceable in terms of law, so that the lacuna that you cite can now be addressed in this legal framework. We have, as Africa, as I said, we have had a devastating position as developing countries. At one point, Uganda Revenue Authority, for your information, when I was the chairman of Uganda Importers, Exporters and Traders Association, and Kasita was one affiliate to us, people were importing even importing brass and knickers second hand. That is how Uganda, Africa, became a dumping ground. Can you imagine how humiliating it is for your wife, your girlfriend, to be wearing a second-hand bra or second-hand knicker? This is dehumanizing. So in terms of enforcement, again, when you look at pre-verification, 100% verification, it's important that Uganda Revenue Authority really identifies and looks at this, because in the pre-verification, you have seen instances where you see uniforms of the army, different types. Those are isolated and put aside because they should not be left out into the market. I would like to see that this kind of approach is also initiated in something that is inhuman to our people, degrading to our nation. As a patriot, as a nationalist, you people who are on the ground should ensure that that should be addressed. The standards, as I invite Madam, the standard that we must go out with is one, and I would like to put this to our people, abantu baffe abasuubuzi. Bw'oba tugenda wabweru, tugule ebintu ebisaanira Uganda. Twagala kukola ssente, naye bw'oba tukola ssente, tukola magoba, twerabira ekintu ekimu. Ekintu ky'ojja wabweru nga kikosa Munnayuganda, nga kimuleetera ekizibu, kiyinza omuleetera kokolo, ekyo kitunuulire okiteeka ebbali. Kubanga kijja tukosa, kirya tuleetera ebizibu, oluvannyuma bajja gamba kino gavumenti tuyambe, ate gavumenti ebyuma bya kokolo bifudde, ebyuma mulago tebikola kubanga omujjuvu gweyongedde. We have a very serious problem kati. Uganda now is producing, our production, we produce over 100,000 babies every month. 100,000 babies every month. The fertility rate until recently was 6.7, meaning that each woman here would produce 7 children. People put it to the nearest point. Giving you 1.7, 1.6 million children every year. This fertility rate has now given us a position where we have, if you look at the demographic dividends we have, We now have 50% of the population below the age of 15 years. Consumptive, dependent, they don't contribute a shilling to the economy, and many other factors. This is a big drain to the economy, a very big drain to the economy. Now this is where you're saying that in a few years, these population dividends we have, demographic dividends we have, will generate a market, a huge market for this country. But if this market is consuming counterfeit, I want to assure you that we're destroying our country. And the young population, the young generation we're looking at, will suffer tremendously if we who are here do not rise, do not come up and address the issues early enough. And that's why when I talk about, when we say that our political leaders, and Madam, the message to our political leaders in Parliament should be that rather than spending time on issues like, you know what is common now, people's power and many other things. I think our political leaders should concentrate on issues that create development and give a tangent of anticipation in terms of policy, in terms of 30 years, 50 years, 100 years, 80, 200 years ahead of time, to know that this is the direction Uganda should go. When we are long gone, we want to see a country with standards that our young people will continue to maintain. It is very unfortunate that you go to Rwanda, they have standards because they have eyes on and hands on. But here, we seem to have taken a laissez-faire approach. Tugayalira ebintu ebisinga Uganda bwetu bweri. That must stop. And I appeal to you, it's a collective effort. With that message of patriotism, I want to take the opportunity to invite my sister, Honorable Nyakecho, the lady in charge of ICT committee in Parliament. Abachala kakati balina amaanyi. Era njagala musabe ajje naye agonjole ku nsonga asobole okwogera nammwe. Abakasiita na bonna bazze, abantu bonna bazze, all of you. I want to thank you because I may not come back again, but I want to thank you most sincerely. And I want to assure you of our collective concerted effort to address these issues and ensure that Uganda becomes a better place for all of us. I thank you.